I just feel that we have got all these, a theme of doctors are showing their abilities here to interpret Gita in their own way in a very special manner. Because Dr. Kishore described how Gita principles can be helpful in mental health problems, and then Dr. Dave focused on two special shlokas from Gita and linked them with Kabir's Darshan and Mahabharata and various other philosophy. And now we have got the next speaker is also a doctor, a surgeon called Mr. Shashank Chitgopkar, and he is working in Viral as a spinal surgeon, and he has trained in India as well as in UK. He has got special interest in mythology and drawing parallels with modern science. He has got publications of presentations in orthopedics, his professional publications, as well as international publications and presentation in orthopedic conferences in mythology and medicine and orthopedic surgery. He is married with 2 children, and he also plays cricket in his local league, which is very important for us Indians, I think. So he's going to now speak about modern science in Bhagavad Gita. Dr. Shashank Chitgopkar.
Namaste everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. Short notice. But I was here only about 2 weeks ago and saw that there is going to be a Gita conference and thought I could add something. Basically, I could learn something from you, because what I'm going to present is my feeling of what is given in the Gita. Maybe I may be wrong, but I will try to draw some parallels. So mythology is understood to be any traditional story, but there is no evidence for this. You cannot trace it back. So people tend not to believe in mythology. But history is something which you can trace back. But history is also presented by somebody, so it is actually his story. But we tend to believe more in that. Troy was discovered, and that destroyed the mythology about Homer's Iliad. And then Krishna's Dwarka is coming to surface. So that tends not to be a mythology. And then the tsunami in 2004, that exposed some temples which were given only in the legends. And now this starts people thinking whether there was an Asian Atlantis, because Kumarikandam was mentioned in the legends. When we go back to Gita, Gita starts with the way Sanjay tells us the Gita, because he is the one who has seen the Gita. And Sage Vyasa went to Dhritarashtra, the blind king, and asked him whether he wants to have inner vision to see the Gita. And Dhritarashtra said, no, I just want to hear it from someone. So Sanjay got the inner vision. And not only could he see, but he was inexhaustible, and also he could read people's minds, so he could actually know what the warrior was thinking. People must have seen this movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats. It's based on a true story about US military intelligence trying to investigate psychical phenomena. And one of the powers they wanted to study was the ability to stare at goats till they fall dead. And actually 1 or 2 people could do it. This also involved remote viewing, and they actually used this to track down some terrorist cells and break them up, and also to capture some terrorists. But this could not be positively carried out every time. It was not very reliable. So this 20 million project was given up. Now what do we understand by inner sight? Inner sight can be clairvoyance, it can be telepathy, and it can also be by transferring your soul, or soul travel, which is called astral travel. And there are some monks in Tibet who wall themselves in caves for years together, but still their soul is able to travel and get information from them for the outside world. The Gita mentions about many dimensions, many universes, and also about time and divine vision. When Arjuna asked Lord Krishna that, show me your universal self, Krishna said, yes, you can see my universal self. You can see whatever you want to see now, whatever you want to see from the past or from the future. But you cannot see it with your eyes. You have to have divine vision. And he gives him this divine vision. And it was not only Arjuna who got the divine vision. We have now seen about Sanjay. but also an ancestor of Ram called King Raghu. He had been given the divine vision as well. And a few years ago, a girl called Natasha Demkina, she created a sensation by claiming to have X-ray vision, and actually she could see some of the few people with her X-ray vision. We have evolved with eyes which only see the visible spectrum of light, but other animals see things differently. Some depend on infrared light, some depend on X-ray vision, and some depend on heat. And it might be possible that some depend on multiple dimensions to see things which we cannot see. So now they say that there are many dimensions to the universe, that as we see it, there are more than 10, about 11 dimensions, only we can't see them because we are still on the lower levels of evolution. But these dimensions are curved around each other, and it is possible in some ways to at least infer that these dimensions are present, only we can't see them. And actually, Ramanujan, one of the famous mathematicians in his time, was working on 10 dimensions, mathematics for 10 dimensions, and he claimed that his mathematical theorems actually came from the goddess in his local temple. He didn't ascribe it to his own genius. And then Arjuna saw the multi-dimensional universe, and it is important to see that both Arjuna and Krishna were sitting in the chariot, and that is how Arjuna saw the multi-dimensions. So it was not that he was having a vision. So Arjuna could see many universes, many expansions in the vision that he saw, and he could not describe it quite clearly. Now, we also know from modern science that there are people who think there is only one universe, but the current thinking is there are many universes and many dimensions. And this is bought in because they didn't want to have the element of God fine-tuning the universe that we are living in, because there are so many precise laws which make the universe possible that they didn't want to bring in someone who is controlling everything. So they said there is a range of universes, and we are lucky to be in this universe where everything is perfect. But likewise, on both sides there will be universes which are not perfect and there is no life. And then Arjuna goes on to describe what he sees, but he has never seen anything like this before. And how do you explain something which you have never seen? So he tries to explain it in the way that he sees that God has many bellies, many arms. And importantly, he says, in you I see no end, no middle, and no beginning. And that is what they say now, that when you go out of the fourth dimension where time stands still, you can see everything at the same time. There is no past, no present, and no future. And then he asks him that you look so fierce, tell me, who are you? And Krishna says, I am time. I am the destroyer of the worlds. And time is again described in the Mahabharata. And it is also said that time is the seed of the universe. Time is what the universe runs on. And Einstein, who became very philosophical in his later years, he always wanted to bring in God to show how the universe works. And he said that time only exists so that everything doesn't happen at the same time. And he said that the distinction between the past, the present, and the future is just a stubbornly persistent illusion. There is no such thing. You are living in a world of 3 dimensions, so you think that time is passing you by. But if you go beyond this, everything is there at the same time. Now there are 3 modes of material nature: the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. And also there are works associated with that. And Lord Krishna realized that there are people who fit into certain modes and they are good for certain type of work. And he classified men accordingly. And this went on to religion and then became abused as the caste system. And the caste system was given for people who are born into a certain caste. But it wasn't meant to be like that. It was meant on how a mental makeup is made up. Today psychometrics is used widely. Wherever you go for an interview, you will find you having to give a psychometric test, because your employers want to know what is your mental makeup and whether you are suitable for the job which you have applied for. And the main focus is on personality testing. And there are various ways this can be done, but the 2 common ones are the personality and preference inventory and Myers-Briggs test. The Myers-Briggs actually assesses what is the preference that a person will make if a certain situation arises, and based on that they understand how this person will react in his workplace. And this is based on Jung's theories of psychological types, and he realized that people are born with, or they develop certain preferences to what they would do to the world around them. And he described 2 functions, 2 judging functions and 2 perceiving functions. The perceiving functions are information gathering, And the judging functions are which help you to make judgment. And people are either extroverts and introverts, that everybody would understand. And extroverts are people who like action, people who like to go out with people. If they are tired, they would go out in the evening and chill out with friends. At the same time, introverts are people after a hard day, they want to go and sit in their corner and just contemplate. And if they talk too much with people, they feel very tired. So these are the two kinds of people. And then you can very well understand the four classes which we have even today and which we had earlier. We either have intellectuals, we have people who are leaders or administrators, we have businessmen, and we have manual or people doing repetitive kind of work. Krishna also went on to describe his material energies because he described himself as the universe. So he said that I have 4 material energies and 4 spiritual energies. We understand these spiritual energies now as energies which we infer information from but which we cannot see, we cannot test conclusively, but we know that they exist. But he also says that these energies are again divided into superior and inferior beings, and the superior draws from the inferior. And he says that all beings are created from these two energies, and that's true. We have energy and we have matter. We are matter, but we are drawing from energy which we can't see. We don't know why we are alive, what makes us tick, but we know that there is something which makes us tick. And he says that I am the original seed of all existence. Whatever is there is created from me. And then in July 2012, the search was going on for the Higgs boson, which draws the energy from the energy field. And 2 teams actually gave around 90% conclusive evidence that the Higgs boson does exist. All it means is that there is a particle which is connected to the Higgs energy field, which was created almost instantly after the Big Bang. And this energy field seems to be everywhere, pervading everything including vacuum and ether. And this boson takes on the energy from this field, passes it on to mass. And from mass matter is created. So if there was no Higgs boson, we wouldn't be there. So that's why some people try to popularize by selling their books by saying this is the God particle, but actually it is not. The Gita also says about the life and death of the universe. Krishna says that each day of Brahma and each night of Brahma is made of 1,000 yugas or 1,000 ages. And that is calculated to around 4,320,000 human years. And that is almost the same calculation scientists have made for the life of the universe. And he says that at the beginning of the day, everything living is born, and at the night, everything goes back into the entity which is God himself. And that is again what they are saying for theories of cyclical universes. Universe is coming to life, and universe is ending in the big crunch. But then he goes on to say that there is another nature which you cannot see. And that nature has always been there. It does not die. It's only the living entities which come to life and die. And everyone knows the law of conservation of energy. Energy cannot be created or cannot be destroyed. It only is transferred from one form to another form. And that energy is God. And that is what he was saying. This is what is unmanifest. And this is what which never dies. And then Penrose and Gurdjieff, they were doing experiments because they believed that universes are cyclic. They do not believe that there is only one universe. So they actually found some cosmic background radiation from before the Big Bang. And that is how they said that if there was energy before the Big Bang, then before the Big Bang there was another universe. So there is a Big Bang, a big crunch, after some time again a Big Bang, again a big crunch. And Einstein actually was saying the same thing, that there is a series of Big Bang going on to a big crunch. And then Krishna goes on to say that there are many planets, and this is your planet where everything is three-dimensional, a material planet, but there are planets higher than this, and this planet you cannot perceive, you cannot explain that planet, but it is there, and once you reach that planet, you are one with me. Basically what he wants to say is, once you are out of your material energies, you merge with the energy and you become one with me. Now they think that only it's about 23% of the matter energy is what we can see, but there is about 72% which we cannot see. That is what they call as dark matter. And that dark matter may contain planets which we don't understand. If they have planets, they may have life as we don't understand them. And that may be the planets which God was talking about something which we cannot perceive, but we can infer that it is there. We know it is there, but we can't explain how it is there. Now, just an advice before going, because we know there are parallel universes, there are universes exactly opposite to ours, there will always be somebody who is exactly opposite to you. So he looks like a twin, and if you are absolutely sure you don't have a twin, but while crossing the road somebody exactly like you comes across to shake hands with you, don't shake hands. He may be opposite to you, and two opposite charges meet, they disappear. You cease to exist. But that is wrong. You don't cease to exist. You cease to exist in this world because energy cannot be destroyed. So you are born somewhere else. What? We don't know. Thank you very much.
I would ask Dr. Somasundar Raja to